Hello, 8th graders. Welcome to today's lesson, Chapter 3, Lesson 4, Coping with Loss. Please make sure that you are especially looking at this and all the other lectures because I will have the quiz review on this video. So please make sure that you are taking notes, that you are watching the lectures, and you will do awesome. You will get your points. So let's get into it. Okay, loss. Let's talk about loss. Loss is an unfavorable part of life. Losing, part of loss could be losing in a game, losing something valuable, or something that has value. So, if you saved up money to buy a watch or a phone and you happen to lose it, you feel some kind of you feel something. You don't feel very happy because you worked really hard to get that thing, and then to have it come up missing, or you lose. Yeah, it's not fun. Loss can be painful. Okay, like I was saying, especially if you use money or if you save up money to get something and then you end up losing it. It's not a very good feeling. Okay, one of the most painful types of loss is when someone close to you dies. Okay, that can be a relative, that can be a friend, or even a family pet. If you have grown up with a pet and then it gets old and dies, or gets really sick and dies, that's gonna affect you. Okay, let's talk about grief. Grief and the grief reaction. So grief is the sorrow caused by the loss of a loved one. Okay, it's normal for those who suffer the loss to experience grief. The grief reaction uh, the grief reaction is the process of dealing with strong feelings following any loss. So if you are experiencing sadness, um, after whatever happens, it's normal to have those feelings of sadness or whatever you might feel after you lose something. Major stressors in a person's life can cause a grief reaction. Okay, for example, if you fight or argue with your best friend, okay, you don't feel very good after that. Okay, that's your best friend, and if you happen to be fighting, things aren't normal, so you feel sad, or you feel frustrated, or you feel confused. Okay, those are normal things to feel after something happens. Okay, or another example could be not making a team. You work really hard to get on the school's soccer team or school's basketball team, and you don't make it. Okay, you feel some type of way after, because you worked really hard to get there, and then for you to not make it, it's hard. Okay, when I was in high school, I had been on the basketball team for 2 years. It was junior varsity, and then my junior year, they cut me. I was really sad, very sad, angry. Just kind of, I was really sad because that's something I had been doing. I hadn't really been practicing, but it's been it's something that I'd been used to doing for probably like 4 years. Even in junior high, I was on the basketball team. So, yeah, it's just something that hurts. And it's normal. It's normal to feel those things. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about now the 5 stages of grief. Okay. I would like to invite you to look up something called, it's a video on YouTube. Look up giraffe robot chicken, or look up 5 stages of grief robot chicken, and this video will come up. It explains very well what what exactly the grief process is, the stages of grief. Okay, so the first one is denial. Okay, people who are in denial can't believe that the loss or serious disappointment happened, but they may pretend that the loss or disappointment never happened. Okay, so if something really bad happens to you, you don't accept it. You're like, no, it didn't really happen. If you lose something, valuable, or you have a close relative pass away, no, they didn't die. Especially if it was an accident. Okay, it didn't happen. No, they're okay. They're okay. That's denial. That's part of grief. Okay. In this video with the giraffe, he steps in quicksand. Okay. So here he says it's no big deal. It's probably not even quicksand, but the sign right next to him says danger, quicksand. So he's in denial that it's not quicksand. um, the next stage, excuse me, let me move myself again, is anger. Okay, you may feel intense bitterness or anger. Okay, The anger can be towards the person who died or directed at other family members or friends. Okay, so again, if somebody dies unexpectedly, you might get really upset because that's not you weren't expecting that to happen. Okay, you also will direct that anger at you could also direct the anger towards other people because you're not happy with how that went down. Okay, so here we have him, the draft, saying, "Oh, I want to bite someone in the face." Okay, he's mad. He wants to bite someone in the face because he's in the quicksand. Okay. The next stage is bargaining. Okay, you try to make a deal in order to fix your disappointment or bring back a serious loss. Okay, for example, if you try hard and get good grades on your next report card, your grandmother, will be cured of her illness. Okay, so making those kinds of deals. Okay, if I promise, if I behave, or if I clean up my room or whatever, I'll be able to find my whatever I lost, or so and so will come back. That's what bargaining is. You give. It's like a give and take. Okay, I promise to give something, or I promise to give something, and you give me something back. Okay. So here in the other clip right here, he says, "Are you there, God? It's me, Giraffe." So he's kind of like he's wanting to make a deal with God. So look up the video. I couldn't share it with you because it's got some bleeped out language. But it's really funny. I think it explains perfectly what it is, and it's a little fun. It's kind of funny. Let's talk about depression. Okay, the next stage is depression. Okay, you experience deep sadness, and the reality of loss begins to sink in. Okay, you begin to acknowledge, maybe for the first time, that the loss is permanent. Okay, so you're like, okay, well, this is probably what's going to happen. Okay, you feel really sad about it. Okay, and just kind of the reality of the loss, it hits you, and you're like, okay, so crying is okay. And you have the giraffe here. He's crying because he knows that it's coming soon, that it's coming. Okay. The last one is acceptance. Okay, acceptance is the last stage it's where you're ready to move on with your life. Okay, the pain lessens. If the loss was a death, the person now becomes a subject of memories that you can always remember. So, acceptance, you accept that. Okay, I lost this thing. I'm not gonna get it back. Okay, you're gonna try and move. You're gonna move on with life. With items, it's easier, I'd say. I mean, it still be hard, but it's easier. With an actual person that passes away, that takes a little time, and then we're gonna go over that a little bit. Okay. um so you have the giraffe here. He says, "Take me, sweet death, I await your loving embrace." Okay, so he's accepting the fact that he's probably gonna die, and he's okay with it. Okay, so let's talk about coping with grief. Okay, let's talk about coping strategies. Okay. Oh, and by the way, you're gonna want to know at least 2 of the 5 stages of grief. Okay, so hopefully you took those notes. Here's you're gonna need to know. Coping strategies. Coping strategies are ways of dealing with the sense of loss. Okay, ways of dealing with the sense of loss people feel at the death of someone close. Okay, these strategies may help you during a very difficult time. Sadness and crying are normal reactions. Okay, so if you're sad and you cry, that's totally okay. Instead of keeping emotions bottled up inside, share them with others. Sometimes just talking about it helps. So please don't be afraid. And you've seen this a lot in other lectures. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's actually helpful to talk it up. Okay. If you don't talk with someone, you keep it inside. It gets heavy. Okay. And you don't want to keep all that weight inside your body. So make sure that you talk to somebody that you trust. Okay. All right, helping others who are grieving. Okay, here are some pointers. You'll wanna know these ones too. Okay, let the person decide how you can be a source of comfort. Okay, you can comfort them by just being there. Okay, be there for them. Let them know that you're there for them. Okay, because sometimes they feel like they're alone. So just make sure that you let them know that you're there for them. Okay. Respect the person's feelings. Okay, feeling sad is okay. So if they're sad, you're not gonna. Why are you sad? Stop being sad. Stop crying. No, let them be sad, let them cry. Okay, again, you're there to support them. If you tell them stop crying, don't be sad, they're not going to take it serious. So make sure, or they're not probably not going to be very happy with you. So that's part of grieving. Okay, let them cry, let them be sad. Okay, allow the person to decide how much time he or she needs to recover. Okay, some people get over a loss faster than others, and it's up to them to decide how long to grieve. There is no timetable on grief. Okay, if someone's going to be sad for a long time, if it's going to take them that long, let them. Okay, but just let them know that you're there for them. Okay, even if it takes a long time. Sometimes it takes a really long time, but you let them know that you're there for them and that you're there to help. Okay. Don't ever rush. You just always let them and not rush them into into through this process. Okay.
Teacher, please go ahead and release kinder through second grade Whatcom students. Again, teacher, please
A little announcement here. Okay, so that's all of it. Here's a quiz review. Okay, this is the last slide, the quiz review. Make sure, okay, you wanna look at these points in the notes. Okay, make sure you're looking at the notes. You're going to know the 3 main emotional needs. Okay, that's in the notes from last week because we didn't have a quiz last week. So I'm having some information from last week on the quiz. Okay, you're gonna want to know the range of stressors. That was from earlier this week. You're gonna want to know ways to manage stress. Okay, skills for managing stress, and stages of grief or helping others who are grieving. Okay, so you're gonna want to know all these things. Hopefully, you have them in your notes. Again, if you're just putting down any little thing, I'm going to know you're not looking at the lecture because I know exactly what I'm looking for and you have the answers, okay, because I put them on these slides. So please make sure that you are watching the lectures. Good luck. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.